Matt here on another sunny afternoon here in April. We got a few topics we're going to run down, but first we're going to talk about our main topic. Zach, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, so let's start out with last week. Disney finally came out and gave us the cast for their Obi-Wan Kenobi series that they're going to start shooting this month. We already knew about Ewan McGregor coming back, Obi-Wan. We heard last summer at Comic-Con that Hayden Christensen is going to be returning as Vader. Now, we don't know in what capacity that's going to be. Is it just going to be his voice? Or are we going to actually see Hayden Christensen outside of the mask? Because this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, they said. So, but then last Monday we finally got the rest of the cast announced. So I'm going to... Nat, you want to run down the rest of the cast real quick?
Sure. We got Moses Ingram, Joel Edgerton, Bonnie... I can't even say her last name, so I'm not even going to try. Kamal... Man, I can't even get his last name either. But he's the guy from, the Dave Bautista one, and a bunch of other stuff.
Kamal Nanjiani, he's been around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see what he plays, because I've been really impressed with him. Indra Varma, Rupert Friend, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Sun Kang from the Fast and Furious series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Simone Kessel and Betty...
Safdie.
Safdie?
Funny thing is, Safdie is a director, not really an actor. He's the guy with his brother, made the Adam Sandler movie Uncut Gems that recently came out last year. So he's more of a director than an actor. Camille Nanjiani, I don't know what he's going to play. Indira Varma, she was on Game of Thrones. She was with, who's the guy that plays in The Mandalorian?
Pedro Pascal.
She was married to Pedro Pascal in Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes.
So, like, the first or second season, I don't remember what season it was.
Yeah, well, everyone just remembers the gif of her yelling when Pedro gets his eyes crushed in.
O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube's son. Mm-hmm. He's been in a few movies. Like,
well, he was in the...
Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, that one he was really good.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of worried about that, and then I thought he shined pretty good in that.
But I think the big thing for me, at least, was having Joel Edgerton come back as Uncle Owen, and even the actor that played Aunt Peru returning for the show. Mm-hmm. People wonder when they announced Hayden Christensen, like, are they going to try and get Joel Edgerton back? And funny enough, that was Joel Edgerton's first movie. Mm-hmm. So for him to come back is almost like a full circle type of thing.
I really think that they have a great thing. They're setting this 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. I think this is a great time to show the Empire at the height of its power type of deal. And then you can do stuff where you're showing, like, Obi-Wan be the silent protector of Luke and the like. And then I think it would be really cool if they actually did some other stuff where they showed... like bits and pieces of like Leia on Alderaan and her growing up in that stuff. So they kind of gave some hints there because Leia has to know Obi-Wan for more than just stories. So sometime they got to meet up at least once.
Well, let me ask that question. Do you think we're going to see a young Luke, at least a young Luke in the show?
I think you might see it. Like, I would love to see like a scene where Luke comes up and it's like you see Obi-Wan watching from afar or something, and you have that almost like a callback scene to how he gets captured in A New Hope. You do a callback scene to that, but just have him as a kid and then have Obi-Wan rescue him, but then Luke never knows. He just kind of just like gets saved but doesn't know it.
Yeah,
so I think that would be really cool.
I feel like if you're going to have Uncle Owen and Aunt Peru, you're most likely going to show Luke at some point, even if it's like the final episode of the season. Mm-hmm. What else are you going to do with them?
Well, here is the good thing about what's going on, because Star Wars Rebels, the animated TV series, is canon. It's not part of Legends. It's canon. that means when Obi-Wan is old and gray, Darth Maul comes and they fight. So technically, depending on how many seasons this Obi-Wan series is, I think it would be really cool to almost end the series with a live action version of that fight scene.
Do you think we'll see a scene of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader again?
I think
if you're bringing Vader in, you're gonna have to have some moment.
You want to do it, but consistency. Vader thought that Obi-Wan was dead, so either they have to have a fight scene in which Vader dominates and almost kills Obi-Wan, and then Vader assumes that Obi-Wan died then, because in A New Hope, Vader is just going like, "Oh, you're still alive." So there's kind of that thing. I think what they should do, which would be really cool, is if this is going to be a multi-season type of deal, even if it's just 2 seasons or 3 seasons or whatever it is, if you end the first season with a fight between the two, mid-season, you have Vader go like, he's still alive. Or I know where he is and I want to track him down. And then he tracks him down at the end, does the fight scene, and then you almost have the reverse scene of the Mustafar scene where Obi-Wan wins and stands tall. You do the reverse of that, and Vader thinks he's killed Obi-Wan, and then he kind of just goes like, ha ha ha, and walks away.
Yeah, I think...
Because then it shows his arrogance.
I think it will be a missed opportunity if they don't show Vader and Obi-Wan, especially if you're going to bring back Hayden Christensen.
I would almost love for some of this stuff to be flashbacks. Like, I would love... Because the one thing that they did that I think that they really didn't do very well in Return of the Sith, and it was the missed opportunity of doing Attack of the Clones the way that they did, is the Attack of the Clones should have been reversed. Or at least, like, the first part should have been sped up. The whole Geonosis and clones thing should have been the first third. Then you have the midpoint and the high point of the final action scene be like the first true battle of the Clone Wars, not the Geonosis one. That's just a whatever it is. And then you have like a huge battle in there, because the one thing is that they did in Return of the Sith, or Revenge of the Sith, mixing up titles now, is that they had this great banter between Obi-Wan and Anakin, and trying to kind of like fill in the gaps of like how like building that like brother relationship. It was a tell, not show.
Well,
I would love to see that time of them like doing stuff together.
Well, you have those moments in Attack of the Clones where they're going up the elevator or whatever, or when they're in the arena, and Obi-Wan's like, this is like the time when we were, going after or whatever, and you're like, well, we didn't see it.
Yeah, I was like, that would have been nice to see.
Or like in Revenge of the Sith, when they're like, you were like a brother to me, Anakin. We're like, when?
It's going like,
we never saw that.
Yeah, I was just going like, we understand that's what you're like. We understand as an audience who's watching a movie that's what you were going for, but we don't. We didn't get that kind of like lived experience of that.
Right.
They kind of covered for that in the Clone Wars TV series, or the animated TV series, and that's where they really showed like the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin and stuff like that.
But at the time,
I would love to see some of that stuff be brought to life.
Yeah, and I think that could be one of the reasons to bring back Hayden Christensen. Like, well, we put him in the Vader suit, no one's gonna realize it's Hayden Christensen.
Right, and if he's wearing the suit,
why did you bring him back?
James Earl Jones.
Well, I have 2 more questions, real quick. Do you think they're gonna bring back James Earl Jones?
They have to.
Well, I say that in the one last year when I saw the Lion King movie, his voice is not the same like it used to be. Yeah, I remember last time we heard James Earl Jones as Vader was over 15 years ago now.
True.
So
I think the one thing that they could do, they could have Hayden Christensen do it. I want to be like, the nostalgia part of me wants James Earl Jones to do it, but they could, like, other people have played Vader and have done really good jobs for it. So what I would almost say is, I would bring in the voice actor who does Vader for like all of the name's missing my mind right now, but he did it for almost all the video games, and he did it in Rebels. I think it was the same guy, and bring him in and almost have him just like coach Hayden Christensen on how to do it, or just have him do it, because then it's at least you want the first time Vader speaks, you want that instant recognition. It needs to be like because the first time Vader speaks is going to be very pivotal in this, in my opinion, because you want that instant, like, Vader's voice has a way of instantly drawing you into the world.
And one more after this. What do you think we'll see Palpatine? Or
yeah, we have to see him in some way. Maybe if it's just like in a hologram of whatever, like he has to be in there somewhere. Because the whole thing is, what's going to be their plot line of this? Despite what Kathleen Kennedy says, there's about 50 books that cover this area. So they have a source material to play with, or at least to get ideas from. They're not starting from scratch. They have something to pull from.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And my final thing is, do you think they'll be doing any de-aging of, like, Joel Edgerton? Because he's a lot older now. And he looks it than when you saw him in...
Well, he's old when in A New Hope.
Yeah, but that was still... How old is Luke in A New Hope?
I think he's in his 20s.
And this is 10 years this is 10 years earlier.
Right, so he's about 10 years old.
No, I'm talking about...
Like Luke is. Luke is supposed to be 10 years old.
I'm talking about Uncle Owen.
I think have him being middle-aged.
I mean, I'm not worried about Ewan McGregor.
Give him some face cream or something like that, you know.
Looks like he did in...
That's why I think the flashback scenes are given, because Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor still look almost the exact same as they did.
But Joel Edgerton doesn't. No. I mean.
But the one thing is that I think right now he kind of he doesn't look like how he did in the prequels. But I think he's at a good halfway point in between how Uncle Owen looked like in A New Hope.
Yeah.
And that's all it really needs to be.
Yeah, I think if they don't have him have like a beard, it will make him look younger.
Yeah.
And they have him with a beard, then...
Or dye the beard like a dark brown.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll see. Like that, that's a little bit of the conundrum there too. It's like, well, you don't have to worry about Ewan or Hayden, and they look the same. But Joel Edgerton does look older than...
But that's where the timeline can really come into a part of for this. They're putting this at the 10. This is in the timeline. This is after. I'm pretty sure this would be like right around the time of Solo. Ish. Is kind of when this would happen. I think this might be right before or right after Solo. My assumption is probably right before.
Or during.
Yeah, or during. Some like that's kind of the time is. So you're nowhere close to Rogue One. That's still like 10 years off. Ish. And you're not close to Revenge of the Sith, because Vader's been Vader for 10 years, and Obi-Wan's been hiding for 10 years. So, 10 years is 10 years. So I think that can be really good in just kind of smoothing some of that stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Or, they could just do the easy thing and just say, screw you, we don't care about continuity, and we're just going to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, we'll see.
Disney has done before, and I caution... Not that they care whatever I say, but, I caution against that, because every time they've done that, the end result has always been horrible.
Yeah, mostly like
a backlash.
They're going to start shooting this month. Mm-hmm. And who knows, maybe by the end of the year, maybe when they have D23 in the fall, we might get our first little tease of something. Yeah. I think this thing is probably won't even debut until 2022. That's my guess. I doubt they'll have it at the end of the year, since they already have a few Marvel things coming out, and The Mandalorian, and the Boba Fett show.
That's actually what I even with all of this, I'm more excited for Boba Fett than I am The Mandalorian, or Obi-Wan, or anything else.
I admit, I'm looking forward to this Obi-Wan thing, because
I'm looking forward to it.
The nostalgia of those prequels. And whether you like them or not, I think just seeing Ewan McGregor back and Hayden Christensen back is going to put a smile on people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's all on the Obi-Wan stuff.
Yeah, I think the one thing that they could actually do to really help this is to just put out a video of showing the timeline. Like, not a video, like, just for the promotion for this Obi-Wan series, if they could put out just a video that basically plots out the timeline of all the stuff that's still in canon, plot it out and say, this is what happens where. Just so that way, I can show it to my mom and say, see, look, Obi-Wan's here. Mandalorian's here. Because I can almost guarantee that there's going to be people that goes like, where's Baby Yoda? Where's Grogu? Where's the Mandalorian? During the Obi-Wan series. And we're all going to go like, they are 30 plus years.
Yeah, no Grogu. Yoda is still around.
That would actually be interesting, is to show Yoda and almost show, like,
well,
I think it would be
anything you want to mess with the audience and have a back shot of Yoda and people think it's Grogu?
Yeah, I think that would be interesting.
Oh, and the Grogu. No.
Yeah, or have Yoda, or even show, or you could do a scene in how Grogu gets away. Or maybe like Obi-Wan, or whoever, Bail Organa calls up Obi-Wan, says, hey, I need your help hitting this Empire thing because there's something of great value. Boom, something happens.
Oh, no,
you see that Grogu is being held captive by the Empire or something.
I don't know. I really don't think they'll go there.
I don't think it, but it would be funny. It would get people to lose their cruds.
I mean, I can see them doing like a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Well, not actually. So, that is it on Obi-Wan for now, and I think we'll keep you informed when they bring up more news and hopefully down the road a teaser that we'll react to.
And always remember to like, comment, subscribe wherever you are. The podcast is available wherever you want to get your podcast. If we are not there, let us know, and we will get there. Remember to like our Facebook page, Attack Bat Productions. Thanks for listening, everyone.